Chapter 19, Battle by the Christmas Tree. The town square of Merry Hollow, usually a scene of festive cheer, had transformed into a battlefield. The great Christmas tree loomed at the center, its once twinkling lights now pulsing with an ominous energy that seemed to distort the very air around it. At its base, the enchanted snowglobe glowed with an otherworldly light, the source of the magical chaos engulfing the town. As the clock struck its final midnight chime, several hooded figures broke from the crowd, converging on the tree with supernatural speed. The Guardians of Yuletide had made their move. "Now, Jack!" Holly shouted, her voice nearly lost in the growing magical tumult. In perfect synchronization, Holly and Jack sprang into action. Jack swept his arm in a wide arc, and suddenly the ground around the tree was covered in a sheet of treacherously slick ice. Several of the charging guardians lost their footing, sliding and tumbling in an ungraceful heap. Meanwhile, Holly raised her wand, uttering a spell she had prepared for this very moment. "Gingerbread guardians, rise and protect." The elaborate gingerbread houses decorating the square began to shudder and crack. From their candied walls emerged towering gingerbread men, their icing eyes glowing with magical life. They formed a protective circle around the tree, their cookie hands clenched into formidable fists. The battle was on, and the air filled with a dizzying array of holiday-themed spells. Candy cane lances clashed against shields of solidified eggnog. Volleys of explosive ornaments arced through the air, countered by shimmering tinsel barriers. Holly found herself face to face with Noelle, her once best friend now an adversary. "Why, Noelle?" Holly cried as she deflected a barrage of razor-sharp playing cards. "How could you be part of this?" Noelle's face was a mask of determination. "You don't understand, Holly. The world needs our magic now more than ever. We can't stay hidden any longer." Their spells clashed in a shower of sparks and sugar plums. Holly's gingerbread golem lumbered to her aid, swatting away a swarm of enchanted toy soldiers that Noelle had animated. Across the square, Jack was engaged in an intense magical duel with Cornelius' candy cane. The deputy mayor's candy cane staff crackled with ancient fire magic, a stark contrast to Jack's icy powers. Steam hissed and roiled around them as their spells collided. "You're too late!" Cornelius shouted, his jolly facade completely gone. "The ritual has begun. Merry Hollow's magic will spread to the entire world." Jack gritted his teeth, pushing back against the searing heat of Cornelius's magic. "Not if we have anything to say about it," he growled, redoubling his efforts. As the battle raged on, Holly became aware of a shift in the magical energies swirling around them. The snowglobe's glow was intensifying, and she could feel reality itself starting to warp and bend. "Jack," she called out. "We need to get to the snowglobe. It's the key to all of this." Fighting their way towards the tree, Holly and Jack found their path blocked by Mrs. Claus. The kindly matriarch of Merry Hollow stood before them, her eyes blazing with fanatical determination. "I'm sorry, dears," she said, her voice laced with genuine regret. "But I can't let you interfere. This is for the greater good." With a gesture, Mrs. Claus summoned a whirlwind of magical gift boxes. They flew at Holly and Jack like missiles, exploding into clouds of disorienting Christmas magic. As Holly battled against Mrs. Claus's surprising magical prowess, her mind raced. How long had the Guardians been planning this? How deep did the conspiracy go? Suddenly, a new voice cut through the chaos, amplified by magic to reach every corner of the square. "Enough!" The fighting paused as all eyes turned to the top of the Christmas tree. There, balanced precariously on the highest bough, stood a figure Holly knew all too well. "Mayor Kringle," she gasped, disbelief warring with hope in her voice. But as the figure descended, Holly's hope turned to ash. It wasn't Mayor Kringle at all, but someone wearing his face like a mask. As he touched the ground, the illusion melted away, revealing Frosty, snowman? Jack exclaimed, his voice filled with shock and betrayal. The ancient snowman's coal eyes glittered with triumph. Surprised, Jack? You should be. I've been planning this for centuries. Holly felt as if the ground had dropped out from beneath her feet. Frosty, snowman, the oldest and most respected resident of Merry Hollow, the very embodiment of winter magic, he was the mastermind behind it all? But, why? Holly managed to ask, her voice barely above a whisper. Frosty, snowman's laugh was like the cracking of glaciers. Why? Because the world has forgotten the true meaning of winter. Of magic. They've reduced Christmas to a commercial farce. With the power of the snowglobe, we'll remind them. We'll cover the world in eternal winter, and they'll have no choice but to remember the magic they've lost. As the true scope of Frosty, Snowman's plan became clear, Holly felt a surge of determination cut through her shock and betrayal. This wasn't just about Merry Hollow anymore. The fate of the entire world hung in the balance. We won't let you do this, Holly declared, raising her wand once more. Beside her, she felt Jack tense, ready for battle. Frosty, Snowman's eyes narrowed. You don't have a choice. With a gesture, he called forth a blizzard unlike anything Holly had ever seen. Snow and ice swirled around him, forming into monstrous shapes, polar bears made of living ice, wolves with icicle fangs, eagles with wings of frost. As these winter horrors charged towards them, Holly knew that this was it, the final battle for the soul of Merry Hollow and the future of Christmas itself. She glanced at Jack, saw the same mixture of fear and determination in his eyes that she felt in her heart. Together, she asked, holding out her hand. Jack took it, his icy touch a comfort in the chaos. Together, he agreed. And with that, they plunged into the fray, magic blazing from their wands, ready to fight for the true spirit of Christmas with everything they had. As the battle reached its crescendo, Holly found herself at the foot of the great Christmas tree, face to face with Frosty, Snowman. The ancient being's coal eyes burned with centuries of pent-up resentment and misguided purpose. Behind him, the snow globe pulsed with otherworldly power, reality itself seeming to warp around its crystalline surface. Holly's wand trembled in her grasp, her magic all but spent. She could feel Jack at her side, his icy presence a comfort even as his own powers waned. They were the last line of defense, the final barrier between Frosty, Snowman's twisted vision and the unsuspecting world beyond Merry Hollow. As Frosty, Snowman raised his arms, gathering the full force of his winter magic for one last, devastating attack, Holly's mind raced. Everything they had fought for, every truth they had uncovered, every friendship tested and strengthened, it all came down to this moment. The fate of Christmas itself hung in the balance, and as the magic surged around them, Holly knew that their next move would determine everything. With a shared glance of understanding, Holly and Jack braced themselves for the final confrontation, ready to give everything they had to preserve the true spirit of Christmas, not as an imposed magical state, but as a choice born of love, generosity, and hope.